It happened on a Tuesday. Alina stood on stage, presenting the biggest project of her career. She knew the numbers, the projections, the audience. But a single misplaced decimal on slide 74 was about to unravel her world. Mr. Henderson, the CEO, pointed out the error with a booming voice. The correction hung in the air, turning murmurs into laughter. Alina's mind went blank, her confidence evaporating. The silence that followed was the sound of her career dying. The aftermath was swift and cold. A quiet meeting the next morning. Words like misalignment and unfortunate incident were used. They meant the same thing. You failed. As she packed her desk, she felt the stares and heard the whispers. She was no longer a person. She was a story. Leaving the building, the city felt different, like towering tombstones. The shame was a physical weight, pressing down on her chest. The world had witnessed her fall and laughed. As the doors of her former life slid shut, Alina felt an invisible door inside her own heart slam closed. She wondered if it would ever open again. The first week was a blur of drawn curtains and unanswered calls. Her apartment became a prison, the silence a constant reminder. Friends called, their voices filled with pity she couldn't stand. Her world shrank to the four walls of her living room. Loneliness was a cold blanket she pulled over her head. The unopened box from her old office became a monument to her failure. Even in the darkest soil, a seed can sprout. The change came as a whisper, a small, neglected succulent on her windowsill. It was alive, trying, and a thought entered her mind. If this plant can fight for sunlight, can I? That weekend, she opened the cardboard box. Instead of shame, she felt detachment. These items were just things from a chapter that had ended. At the bottom, she found a leather-bound journal. On its first page, she wrote, "Today, I will learn one new thing." It was a promise to herself, a secret pact. She started small, learning to bake bread from scratch. The process was therapeutic, requiring focus and patience. The first loaf was proof she could still create something good. From bread, she moved to other things. She enrolled in a free online course about coding. She started reading classic novels and taught herself graphic design. Each new skill was a brick in the foundation of a new self. She wasn't trying to get her old job back or prove anyone wrong. She was quietly rebuilding Alina for herself. As weeks turned into months, Alina's apartment transformed. It became a workshop, a library, a studio. Her days found a new rhythm, dictated by curiosity and creation. She woke with the sun, excited to continue a project. The fear of failure lingered but no longer held power over her. In her private world, a mistake was simply a lesson. She began to reconnect with the world on her own terms. She reached out to an old friend for help with a tricky line of code. Their conversation was about the present, a shared interest. Slowly, she led a few trusted people into her new world. They saw not a victim, but a creator. One afternoon, she felt a spark she hadn't felt in years. It was the thrill of the work itself, the joy of solving a problem. Her old job had given her a title, but it had stolen her love for the work. Here, she found it again. Her small wins accumulated, like petals on a blooming flower. She built a small website and designed a logo. She was quietly becoming more capable and resilient. The email arrived on a crisp autumn morning, a year after her fall. It was from her old company, but curiosity won out. It was from Sarah, a young woman in the junior development department. The company was struggling with the project Alina had been fired from. Sarah admired Alina's design work and asked for advice. Alina stared at the email, a crossroads she hadn't anticipated. Part of her wanted to refuse, to savor a small revenge. But she thought about Sarah, facing her own pressures and fears. She saw a reflection of her younger self in that request. To refuse would be to become what she despised. After a day of contemplation, she wrote back. She didn't mention the past or her dismissal. She generously answered Sarah's questions, offering insights. She attached a mock-up design to illustrate her point. She hit send and felt a sense of quiet strength. It was an act of closure she didn't know she needed. The next move, she thought, was up to them. A week later, a second email arrived from Maria, a vice president. Maria had seen the mock-up Alina sent to Sarah. She wrote, "This is brilliant. We were wrong. I was wrong. Would you come in as a paid consultant, a mentor for our junior team?" Walking back into that building was hard, but she was not the same. She wore no corporate armor, just quiet confidence. She was not there for their approval, but to offer value. She was led to a small conference room where the junior team gathered. Maria introduced her as a design consultant. There was no grand announcement, just about the work. Alina spoke about empathy and designing for people. The team listened, captivated, asking questions with genuine curiosity. In that room, she was not a failure, but a teacher. She saw the spark of understanding in their eyes. As the session ended, Mr. Henderson appeared at the door. He extended his hand and said, "Thank you. We have a lot to learn from you." In that moment, the echo of the laughter finally faded away. Alina did not accept a full-time job at her old company. She continued as a consultant, helping them steer the project back on course. Her freelance business grew, built on thoughtful design. The fall was not the end, but the beginning of her true story. She learned a comeback is a quiet, internal journey. It's about picking up your broken pieces and rebuilding. Her public failure forced her into a private crucible. She emerged not unscathed, but remade. The scars were reminders of her resilience. The experience taught her that value is not determined by applause. Success is the ability to rise after we fall. The respect you earn from yourself is a treasure. Her story became an inspiring legend in the company. It was about grace, resilience, and the quiet power of a comeback. She had fallen, and the world had laughed. But in rebuilding herself, she found strength and purpose. As she told those she mentored, courage is not the absence of fear. Your transformation is that something else.
What's something people don't know about stories? They never truly end. There's always a new adventure waiting for you. Just pick your next tale and I'll meet you there. Subscribe to the Story Circle and let me know which story I should tell next in the comments.